This winter may be winter at its worst.
I can hardly talk. My muscles are so cold, I can hardly move my mouth.
Well, I have a heavy sweater, another sweater, two scarves. I forgot my gloves, but I only live down the street.
An unprecedented wave of bone-chilling cold has gripped the East Coast, shattering records and catching millions off guard. As temperatures plummet to historic lows, communities are bracing for icy winds, dangerous conditions, and the challenges that come with such extreme weather. This isn't just another cold snap. It's a wake-up call for everyone in the region to assess their readiness. From frozen pipes to power outages, the risks are real, and the question looms large. Are you truly prepared to face nature's harshest test? Understanding the polar vortex and its role in extreme weather. The East Coast is currently gripped by a historic cold snap, with temperatures plunging to record-breaking lows across several states. Meteorologists have attributed this unprecedented weather event to the polar vortex, a term that has become increasingly familiar in recent years. To fully grasp the reasons behind such extreme weather, it is essential to understand the mechanics of the polar vortex and its role in global climate patterns. The polar vortex refers to a massive area of low pressure and cold air that typically surrounds the Earth's polar regions. This air is confined to the Arctic by the strong jet stream winds that act as a barrier, keeping the freezing temperatures contained. However, when the jet stream weakens or shifts, often due to warming in the Arctic, the polar vortex can destabilize. This allows the frigid air to escape its usual boundaries and drift southward, bringing dangerous and life-threatening conditions to lower latitudes, including the east coast of the United States. This particular cold wave has been described as one of the most intense in decades, with temperatures dropping far below freezing, accompanied by icy winds and heavy snowfall in certain areas. Cities like Boston, New York, and Philadelphia have recorded temperatures not seen in decades, while rural areas and smaller towns have been hit even harder, with life-threatening wind chills reaching -50 degrees Fahrenheit in some regions. Scientists are increasingly pointing to the possible influence of climate change on the behavior of the polar vortex. While global warming might seem counterintuitive to such extreme cold, it is the warming of the Arctic that is believed to be a contributing factor. Melting sea ice and rising temperatures in the Arctic disrupt the delicate balance of the jet stream, making it more likely for cold air to spill southward. This phenomenon has raised alarms in the scientific community, as it suggests that such extreme weather events may become more frequent in the future. Understanding the polar vortex is critical not only for predicting future weather events, but also for preparing for them. With advancements in meteorological technology, forecasters are now able to provide more accurate warnings, giving communities precious time to take necessary precautions. However, as this cold snap demonstrates, even with preparation, the sheer intensity of these events can overwhelm infrastructure and resources. Staying safe. During a deep freeze, when temperatures drop to such dangerous levels, staying safe and warm becomes a matter of life and death. Frostbite, hypothermia, and other cold-related illnesses can develop rapidly, especially in exposed conditions. For many, this kind of weather is not only challenging, but outright perilous, particularly for vulnerable populations like the elderly, children, and those without stable housing. The first step to staying safe is dressing appropriately. Experts recommend layering clothing, using insulated and moisture-wicking materials to retain body heat. Outer layers should be windproof and waterproof to protect against icy gusts and precipitation. Hats, gloves, and thermal socks are essential for covering extremities, which are most susceptible to frostbite. Scarves and face masks can help protect the nose and mouth from icy air that could irritate or damage respiratory pathways. For those indoors, maintaining consistent heat is vital. Heating systems should be checked and serviced regularly to ensure they are functioning efficiently, especially during prolonged periods of extreme cold. Homeowners are advised to keep indoor temperatures above 68 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent pipes from freezing and to ensure a comfortable environment. Space heaters can provide additional warmth, but they should be used with caution to avoid fire hazards and carbon monoxide poisoning. It's essential to keep a functioning carbon monoxide detector in the home, as improper use of heaters and fireplaces can lead to deadly gas buildup. Frozen pipes are another common issue during cold snaps. To mitigate this risk, experts recommend insulating exposed pipes, opening cabinet doors to allow warm air to circulate around plumbing, and letting faucets drip slightly to keep water moving. These small steps can save thousands of dollars in potential damage. Travel safety is equally critical. Ice-covered roads and reduced visibility make driving treacherous, and officials often advise against non-essential travel during severe weather events. Those who must venture out should equip their vehicles with emergency supplies, such as blankets, water, flashlights, and a snow shovel. Ensuring a full tank of gas and having a fully charged phone are additional precautions that can make a significant difference in an emergency. Community support is also vital during such crises. Warming shelters have been set up in many areas to provide relief for those without reliable heating. Neighbors are encouraged to check on each other, particularly the elderly or disabled who may need assistance. For those experiencing homelessness, shelters and outreach programs become lifelines, offering warm meals and safe spaces away from the bitter cold. The ripple effect. Cold snaps' impact on daily life and infrastructure. The current cold snap is not just an environmental phenomenon. It is a crisis affecting every aspect of daily life, from transportation to energy supplies. Across the East Coast, the freezing temperatures have brought public transit systems to a standstill. Subways, trains, and buses are struggling to operate as tracks freeze, equipment malfunctions, and road conditions deteriorate. Commuters have faced significant delays and cancellations, with many opting to stay home rather than risk hazardous travel conditions. Air travel has been equally disrupted, with thousands of flights canceled or delayed due to icy runways and de-icing challenges. This has caused a ripple effect across the country's transportation network, leaving passengers stranded and exacerbating existing logistical challenges in supply chains. Energy systems are under immense pressure as demand for heating surges to record levels. Utilities have reported rolling blackouts in some regions to prevent grid overloads, leaving households and businesses without power during critical times. In rural areas, where infrastructure is often less robust, outages have been more prolonged, creating dangerous situations for residents reliant on electric heat. Agriculture has also been hit hard. Crops that are unaccustomed to such cold temperatures have suffered severe damage, particularly in southern regions where freezing weather is rare. Livestock farmers are struggling to protect their animals from the cold, with many reporting losses despite taking precautions. For businesses, the economic toll of the cold snap is mounting. Retailers are facing challenges in restocking shelves as icy roads and labor shortages disrupt delivery schedules. Restaurants and small businesses, already strained by the pandemic, are losing revenue as customers stay home. Schools across the affected regions have closed, moving to remote learning where possible. But this has highlighted ongoing disparities in access to technology and resources. The psychological impact of the cold snap cannot be ignored. Prolonged exposure to extreme weather, combined with the isolation it often brings, has contributed to heightened stress and anxiety for many families. Rising heating costs are adding to financial worries, particularly for low-income households already struggling to make ends meet. Despite these challenges, the cold snap has also brought out the best in many communities. Volunteers have stepped up to staff warming shelters, distribute food and clothing, and assist neighbors in need. These acts of kindness and solidarity serve as reminders of the resilience and compassion that define the human spirit, even in the face of extreme adversity.